Hello and welcome to Check Your Brain's late review.
2 weeks.
Discussion
Review.
of Captain America.
Review.
Captain,
/ discussion.
This being the second Captain America, starring Matt Salinger and Ned Beatty.
Huh?
The follow-up to the original in 1979 starring Red Brown. Now this being the sequel in 1990, we now have the Red Skull. Wait.
No.
Damn right.
Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wrong one, dude.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. This guy.
Captain America Metal Gear Solid Edition.
How's this Metal Gear Solid Edition?
Have you seen the guy with the metal arm? That's Metal Gear Solid.
No, Metal Gear's a giant bipedal tank.
So, to get this out of the way, spoiler full discussion here. It's a good movie. Go see it.
Yes, go see it. Very quickly now.
For
go,
the three
run.
people out there who have not gone to see it, as I've seen the results from the box office, three of you out there, you can.
Three of you been hiding in a cave.
Yeah.
You're in a coma or something. I completely understand.
You can turn this video off now. Go watch it and come back and hear what we have to say.
You'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah,
It's bright out here.
it is.
We're outdoors.
We are outdoors. You can hear the birds chirping, the rednecks revving their engines, the neighbor dogs barking. Well, you will hear them.
Eventually. They'll hear us.
We've seen the new Captain America,
Awesome.
not the Red Brown or the Matt Salinger version.
Or that cruddy made-for-TV movie with the motorcycle thing.
That's the Red Brown version. Don't knock Red Brown. He's got an awesome scream. So,
I hadn't seen that in so long.
makes me want to watch that episode of Miami Vice where he played a biker riding a scooter.
Yeah, you want to hurt a biker's feelings, put him on a scooter. But we digress.
Where's my scooter?
Where's my scooter?
This movie, I like it better than most of the Marvel movies that have come out. Actually, I like it.
Over all the rest, you think this is...
I don't like it the most. I like it better than the Thor movies. I like it better than Iron Man 1 and 2.
What?
Not 1 and 2, 2 and 3. I like Iron Man 1.
I was about to say, I
Yeah.
was about to punch you.
I think I like this better than the Avengers because this seems like Avengers 1.5.
No, just because it has Nick Fury and Scarlet Witch doesn't mean it's Avengers. That's S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's an ensemble movie with
It
a lot
kind
of
of is,
characters.
but they've kind of integrated with this new universe based off the comics and with this universe they've created with these movies, which is kind of a mishmash of the original lore versus the ultimate versions. Captain America gets woken up and found by S.H.I.E.L.D. and pretty much S.H.I.E.L.D. just kind of brings him in and says, "All right, we're gonna make you a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. We're gonna do all this," and of course that's kind of post Avengers,
Yeah.
Well, no, they had him kind of in during Avengers. It was like he was just getting into it. Like,
But let's see. They got, besides Captain America, they got Black Widow.
Black Widow, she's
Falcon.
part of S.H.I.E.L.D.
They got Falcon.
Falcon
It's
just
in
got
this.
brought into this.
They got Nick Fury.
Nick Fury's part of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's the director.
They got, Quicksilver shows up.
That's in the credits.
He's still in the movie. Scarlet
That's-
Witch. You mentioned Scarlet Witch earlier
Yeah.
too. So there, they mentioned them.
No,
Who
I
else
call her
is
Scarlet Widow.
Any other
Okay.
characters?
That's it. As far as the comic version, that's it.
So 5, but you got 3.
3 that are actually in the movie, 2 that are in the end credits.
But a lot of it has to do with S.H.I.E.L.D., which I feel sorry for you people who watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and didn't see this movie and then watched the next episode. I heard that you were very confused.
Yeah, I didn't get to see that, so
My sister
I missed a
watches
lot of
it,
it.
and she was like, I guess we need to go see this movie.
Yeah, yeah. They that's the thing with the Agents of Shield. They're trying to tie it in with the movie stuff. Because if you've seen the Avengers, you know that the guy who's Agent Coulson dies in the Avengers. But the Agents of Shield, turns out he didn't die, and
Yeah, so I haven't seen the show,
Yeah.
so he's not dead. So why wasn't he in this movie?
good question. That's part of the show.
Oh, and
In the show,
Robin from How I Met Your Mother's back.
yeah, Colby Smulders.
Yeah,
She's salty.
she's smoldering.
She smolders my boulders. I don't know what that was. Anyways, the show is within that world. I know you haven't seen it, but they're off away from everything else. They're doing all the background stuff, all the weird stuff. You know, it doesn't hit the headlines. They go and mess with
They're
all that.
the X-Files of the show.
Pretty much. It's the X-Files of the show. They're associated with it, but their stuff is kind of over here. You
with
got the
this
movies
movie-
here, and you got the show is kind of over here doing its own thing, but loosely they tie into each other.
But in Captain America, S.H.I.E.L.D. gets taken down because it's
Yes.
owned by a bunch of Nazis.
Hydra.
Nazis. And Gary Sandler is a Nazi, apparently.
Yeah, I wonder how hard it was to talk him into doing that.
I don't know. They just his one scene is kind of like they just let him do his thing, you know. And he's getting scary looking.
He is.
I mean,
Remember back when he had his own little show, the Gary Sandler show?
but he's looking like a overweight burn victim. Well, I don't.
Yeah, he's
I couldn't-
not aging well.
He has no neck. It just slopes.
Head and shoulders. Head and shoulders. His favorite
Anyway.
shampoo.
Poor Gary. So this movie, they do a lot with all the Shield stuff. Seems like half of it's Captain America, half of it's a Shield story, which is fine. I think the reason I like the first Captain America better, I like first Captain America and Iron Man 1 the best.
Yeah.
This comes a good third.
Because they were good origin stories. They
were.
They're putting, for
They
those
were.
who don't know the lore, they're putting these characters out saying, here's how this guy came to be. And they did both of them excellent.
I think that's why I like them the best, because they seem like their own movie all the way through
It is.
until the very end.
Well, it technically is, because the rest of them, well, Iron Man's kind of kept its own separate identity from the rest, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're trying to do, is they understand, even in the comics, even though they're part of the Avengers team, they still have their own stuff going on.
Right.
So that's the hard part about the comic book world is, you know, in one comic book in the Avengers, they're off doing this, but in his own separate comic book, he's off doing this. Like, wait a minute, this is happening at the same time. How can he be in two places? So with this Ultimate Universe and the way they're doing the movies, they're trying to say, okay, here's how these guys began. Here's how we're going to slowly bring them together.
Incredible Hulk.
And then it kind
That
of,
one stood off on its
Yeah.
own too.
well, which version?
The Incredible Hulk, not the Hulk.
How many
The-
different Hulk movies have there been?
There's Ang Lee's the Hulk
Anyway, he's the Hulk.
that had
Eric Bana.
yeah, it's the Hulk, and then the Incredible Hulk had Edward Norton,
Edward Norton.
and
And then we got Mark Ruffalo in
yeah,
Avengers.
Avengers, which I wish they would make a Hulk movie with him. I
I
like
think he
him as
did
the Hulk.
better.
He's a
You
good.
know, Ed
Hulk.
Norton pulls off a good little scrawny Bruce
does.
Banner, but I think Mark Ruffalo deserves his own Hulk movie.
I do. More so than Thor, I think.
Well, they got to establish the character. The first one, I understand. The second one, I was kind of like, really, what's the point of this other than getting Natalie Portman back in here?
Yeah, which
Don't get me wrong, I love Natalie Portman.
I think she's adorable in the
She is.
movie. She's like one of the best parts. The Thor movies, they're, I don't know. I still say Thor is a great remake of Beastmaster 2. That's really what it is. The second one is I think I like the second Thor better than the first one. The Iron Man movies, first my favorite. Iron Man 2 is my least favorite out of all the Marvel movies.
Why?
because it was very little of an Iron Man movie. It was more of a Avengers setup. It was a stepping stone.
Well, that's kind of how they built it. It was the build up towards the Avengers.
But they could have done that with, I don't know. Although Scarlett Johansson, I think, looked the best in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, I know. I love her hair in that. I can't believe they went with the different hairstyles in other movies.
Which makes me think, in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the movie we're talking about,
Trying to.
when they go to Falcon's house, I don't know his real name, when they go to his house,
Sam something or other.
and he lets them come in and use the shower and stuff, and she's drying her hair, and then they go into the kitchen to eat breakfast. Her hair, it looks like she spent an hour and a half. I have a wife with curly hair like Scarlett Johansson. I know how long it takes for them to straighten their hair. That threw me out of the.
Now we're nitpicking.
A married man.
A time lapse deal. It was time lapse. They didn't,
Where'd she get a straightener from?
I don't know. Maybe she
I'm
carries
sorry,
one.
Falcon's got Jerry curl, not a straightener.
Maybe he had a girlfriend. She left one behind. I don't know. We're nitpicking now.
I'm just saying that.
Tiny detail. You won't let it go.
No, that just got me. I was like,
I get you too. It's like
she didn't straighten her hair. Why would she straighten her
it
hair
happens.
and everything? I mean, it's just no. Anyway, besides that,
Things like that happen in movies all the time.
yeah,
There's no rhyme or reason. It's just, hey,
it's a
it's the order in which they shoot the scenes.
$100+ million movie. Come on, they got women on the set that would just say, hey, no. Scarlett Johansson should say, no.
Guys, really, you know how long it takes to get this done?
I don't think Falcon had a hair straightener in his bathroom.
I don't think he did.
That's all I'm saying.
But besides the point, basically this movie, of course, continues after the Avengers.
It does.
New York's been destroyed. Aliens have gone away.
This is a very good Captain America / Jason Bourne / Tom Clancy movie.
Kind of, yeah.
That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah. Well, it shows him doing his work with S.H.I.E.L.D., and of course, Fury got some suspicions about some new stuff they're doing.
Well, there's that one scene where Fury takes him down into the basement.
Yeah.
The big basement.
Shows the real basement. Shows him what S.H.I.E.L.D.'s future plans are, and Captain America's kind of like, hold on. This isn't how we do business.
Their future plan is helicarriers, like an Avenger, but 3 of them with more guns.
Lots of guns.
Like guns all underneath.
To take out targets before they can do damage.
Yeah.
And he even says, I think even in one of the trailers, like, this isn't freedom, this is fear.
It kind of hit a lot of the politics.
Yeah, it's little political undertones going on.
But to the extreme.
Yeah.
It's like,
instead of little drones, we've got giant helicarriers with cannons the size of your house. With multiple ships that can go off and shoot missiles and do whatnot.
It's almost with the whole NSA spying on you thing. Well,
through Candy Crush, NSA spying on you.
Yeah, they. I don't play that game.
Me either.
Yeah, it was pretty much trying to tie it in, I guess, to real issues going on. But like I said, to the extreme. Captain America's against it, of course. Nick Fury's got suspicions that it's going to be used for the wrong
purposes.
Yeah.
Not its intended purpose, but
so he goes to his boss, which is Robert Redford. Who...
Alexander Pierce.
Is that character in the comics?
I think he's in the Ultimate version. I didn't get too far into that, but...
Robert Redford was awesome.
He was pretty dang cool.
I thought it was neat seeing him in a movie like this, and his performance was really good. I thought maybe he shot all his scenes in like 2 days.
Possibly.
Because he's only in 2 locations, his office and his house. And I was he probably just has some grandkids and thought it'd be fun to do, and he did a great job.
Even if he's not a comic book fan, it was still a great role and still a great movie to be in.
I like it when they throw actors that you normally wouldn't see in a movie like this.
You wouldn't associate. You would think, oh, he'll never do a movie like this. And then he's in there and you're like, holy crap, he blew this away.
It's like Anthony Hopkins in Thor. which
Yeah, that's Odin.
though there was an interview with Anthony Hopkins I read back in like 2000, 1999, whenever Mission Impossible came out, too. And they asked him, why would you do such a movie like Mission Impossible? You're a knight. He's like, I'm an actor for hire. You pay me money and I will be in your movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's like, sometimes I make really good movies. Sometimes I'm in this movie over here. It's my job.
Sometimes I do bad company.
Oh,
Oh! Oh! I'm sorry. Did I say that?
whoa.
Wow.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Chris Rock.
Not to say his performance is bad. He does a good job at his job. It's the main character in that movie that just throws the whole thing for me.
Chris Rock
So that's a scatterbrain.
in a Jerry Bruckheimer action movie co-starring Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, who would have thought those two
Wow.
would be working together?
So yeah, Anthony
Mind
Hopkins,
blown.
he'll be in anything.
Anyhow.
So yeah, this movie, I mean, one thing that blows people away is how much money it's made so far.
It's
Opening weekend,
Crazy.
$96 million
That's like over half the budget for the movie on the opening weekend.
in April.
In April.
April! Not normally known for blockbuster movies. April.
They
Put some stats down here. April.
they show, I don't know, all the Marvel movies are making more and more money. I mean, this
Oh, yeah.
one blew away the Thor opening. Thor made a good amount of money too. But Avengers is like the biggest moneymaker of all time.
Of all of them, yeah, Avengers. Now the second one, when that comes out, we're going to see what happens.
Well, they're talking about for Avengers 2, the budget, this isn't counting salaries, is $400 million. Not counting salaries and promotion. After salaries and promotion, it's going to be about $1 billion.
Wow.
$1 billion
They better not screw this movie
for a
up.
movie. That's
Donkulous.
throwing a lot of That's
Ching, 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 ching. This is throwing money around.
Paramount. They're the ones who make it. Right?
Hey,
I think
with the
it's
money they're
Paramount.
making on the movies they've put out so far, I mean, think about it. Even the video
If you're
sales.
watching this, we just need $1 million and we'll make a good movie. Come on. 2 million.
Paramount,
Just throw it our way. We got some ideas.
couple.
But
Back to the movie.
what I'm thinking, Chris Evans is perfect Captain America.
Yeah.
He's got that blonde hair, blue-eyed German Nazi look to him. Wait, I mean, no, Chris Evans, I think, is a great Captain America. I argued it at first because he was
Because of the Human Torch thing.
Yeah, he was the Human Torch. And I was like,
Fantastic
you can't
Four.
do that. He's the
But that's
Human Torch.
Fox.
But that was also
Fox has that.
a horrible movie.
It was. Well, okay, the first one was meh. The second one is like,
They
really?
butchered the Silver Surfer and Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But he was the Human Torch. I always have this thing where I'm like, if you play a comic book character in one movie, you can't play another comic book character in a different movie.
It doesn't work because what happens if they try to do a crossover?
Yeah, but they're rebooting Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
which they won't be able to cross over with the Avengers or
Fox and Paramount.
Spider-Man, but they could cross over with X-Men. But did them and the X-Men do much in the comics? They did more with Spider-Man and the Avengers than they did with X-Men.
Yeah. They did very little
So-
with X-Men, but there was one point where the Fantastic Four kind of disappeared. And they had what they called the new Fantastic Four, which was Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider. They were the temporary Fantastic Four. Because the Fantastic Four got sucked into some black hole or weirdness. They were out of the picture, so they just decided to throw, what's 4 random characters we can throw together and make a Fantastic Four out of? Oh, how about, we need a guy that's on fire. Hey, we got Ghost Rider. Okay, we need somebody strong. Let's take the Hulk. And I don't know if Spider-Man's supposed to be replacing the Invisible Woman or not. And then you got Wolverine. He damn sure ain't no Reed Richards.
I just realized it's not Paramount that did. It's Disney. They own Marvel.
Disney.
Disney. Disney, as much money as they have, I think they should just throw $1 to $2 billion into buying Spider-Man and the X-Men, or throw enough money at them to be able to combine and make a movie with all of them. I think and the reason I'm saying throw a couple $1 billion at it, you'll make that back. If you got Spider-Man in the Avengers, you would make a ton of money. If you got the X-Men in with the Avengers, you would make a ton of money.
Lots of crossover potential.
Yeah, they would just make so much money. It's not unlike a studio to get together for a movie. Who was it? 20th Century Fox and Paramount were combining to make the Halo movie, and Peter Jackson was attached.
Why that never happened, I don't know.
Well, I know why. Because they didn't want Neil Blomkamp to direct it. They didn't trust a guy who had never made a full-length movie before, and Peter Jackson had his back. So they went and made District 9 to prove a point. They made it for like $30 million, and it made like $300 million. So, yeah.
Tell me who the idiots were in that decision.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
But yeah, if they were to do, I don't know.
This has turned into a discussion about something totally different.
It's a discussion, more of a review. We gave our review. Go see it. It's a good movie. It's a lot of fun.
So much for spoilers because we're not even talking about it.
It's corny in places. It's fun in places.
Well, it's corny for the right
dramatic
reasons.
in places. Well, it's a comic book movie. It's got all the stuff that you need. It is
And everything
just
fits.
really good. And, you know, the fact that the action in it is so good, so well done. They even threw in, what's his name, Felipe, he's a villain. He's the one he was the guy who, the head of the terrorists that took the ship at the beginning. He's from the comics.
Oh, what's his name?
And in the comic books, I mean, he's always kicking Captain America in the face.
Yeah.
And they did a good job representing him. And they brought all these different elements in there too, and they're blended together. The action was great. The story was really good. The acting, top notch. I really liked how much they threw in Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. I thought she did a great job in it. And the fact that Captain America stole a pickup truck.
And he did not feel good about it.
But Captain America, as we've seen from previous Captain America movies, likes to steal vehicles.
Hey! Captain! Are you okay? You hold it! No, wait! Don't leave me out here!
Yeah.
Sharon, could you pull over for a minute? I think I'm going to be sick.
Captain America is car sick? Are you okay? What are you doing? Wait a minute.
My favorite part of the movie, where they find the secret Hydra base, and they go down into it, and it's abandoned, and for some reason there's all these tape computers,
1950s
databases,
technology.
yeah, like rows and rows and rows of tape backups for a computer system. There's a USB hub there. I'm like, oh, okay, and they plug in their little USB.
Because those are compatible technologies.
You can get a soldering gun. But it turns out that it's the little scientist dude from the first one. And his whole consciousness has been put into 200,000 miles of tape.
I wonder if that's how much it really takes.
You see, yeah.
His vast intellect required 200,000 miles
It's a
of computer
warehouse
tape.
full of all these spindles of old tape decks. And I was just like, that's cool. I like that. I mean, it's...
If you haven't seen the movie and you're curious about what we're talking about, go look up War Games, Matthew Broderick. Not the remake.
Oh, and she uses the line and everything.
Yeah.
She starts it up. It's like, shall we play
Or,
again?
or Superman 3 when Richard Pryor's trying to jack the satellite. And you see the little things that look like old cassette players or something. That's what we're talking about.
Data used to be stored on audio cassette.
Magnetic tape.
And the sound of the computer language, which sounds like a modem, would be recorded onto these tape decks. And then when you play it back, it would play the computer sound and translate it to data. Yeah, I used to use those actually.
Take a geek alert. Take a geek alert. I don't know how that works.
But yeah, I thought that was
your
really cool. I
Favorite
like.
part of the movie?
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. That and the car chase scene with Nick Fury. I thought that was like the best
Pretty
action scene in the movie.
Very
It's-
cool.
I hadn't seen a car chase scene that good in a while. And I just want to know, is that SUV standard for all SHIELD agents?
Well, they do have one in the show.
Apparently it can fly.
Yeah,
It's supposed to have
I-
a propulsion system,
Well,
which was damaged.
that was for the wheels. I think it had flight capability, but that was damaged.
Yeah.
But it had these like propulsion systems for the wheels, and he showed the computer diagram showing how it propulsion restored because they had like instead of using traditional gas, I suppose, they had I guess some start tech to drive the engine so they could go faster, and then if need to, it could convert into this kind of like hover/flight mode. If you saw the first episode of Agents of Shield, Coulson's car, Lola, old Cobra, could do that.
Oh.
They only showed it once at the end of the episode.
Well, they do have a budget.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, supposedly these vehicles have the capability of flight when needed. Let's see. What would my favorite part of that movie be? I would have to say the when they go on board the ship in the beginning, and Captain America jumps out of the plane, and they're like, "Did he use a chute?" And they're like, "No, he don't." But the combat way he gets on the ship, and then
Yeah.
in the comics he was always able to throw that shield and make it come back to him. And every time he throws that shield, instead of just whipping it out at the guy and just for some reason just magically comes back, they actually show how he banks off the guy, hits walls, banks back, and comes to him.
Ricochet.
Ricochet. How they actually show that, because in the comic books they show him he just toss it and it hit a guy and it'd shoot off at a weird angle, but then all of a sudden it would like boomerang back to him, like he'd be out in the field or something, right? Mm-hmm. Whip that shield out and nail a guy, and the shield goes shooting off in the air, and then all of a sudden it just comes back to him.
The wind was just
with
right
no,
that
yeah,
day.
the wind was just right. Wind just blew just right at curve back.
Yeah.
But in this one, every time he throws, there are actual physics in there, and just clock the guy, bang, bang, boom, catch it, throw it on the back, get to fighting. The fight scenes with Captain America, those, especially the elevator, that was cool.
The fight scene in the elevator, yeah. I think I would have liked it better if I hadn't seen it in the trailer.
Yeah, well, they didn't show the whole thing. They just kind of
Right.
gave you a little
I like
before
when
and
he's
after.
fighting on the ship and he kicks the guy and he flies off. He's just running by kicking and hitting guys. They're flying over the side. Just showing how strong he is.
Yep.
The Black Widow was pretty good in that scene. It had a lot of movies they wouldn't be able to pull off the whole talking about, hey, you should ask this girl out on a date or something in the middle of an action movie. But these characters had enough charm where it worked. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, that's all right. I can deal with it.
So we're in the middle of a mission. Can't you think of something better to talk about?
And they, of course, There's always the question of, well, you got these giant 3 helicarriers that are about to kill 100,000
Millions.
people, million people. Where's the Avengers at? And I understand you can't have them in this movie. They got to make some excuse to why they're not there. Although they didn't make much of an excuse to where everyone's at.
Well, if they put up a timeline, I'm pretty sure Winter Soldier happens when Iron Man 3 happens, so he's off halfway across the country dealing with AIM.
Yeah, that's the same thing that we said with Iron Man 3.
Thor was dealing with the Dark World stuff.
Yeah, he's got bigger problems going on.
He's got bigger problems.
I'm just wondering.
Where was Hawkeye, though? Well, it's not the Avengers movie, but, he's part of S.H.I.E.L.D. Where was Hawkeye?
Yeah, he was in the first Thor movie.
Yeah.
I do like how they threw in where they're questioning that one guy on the rooftop, and we were saying it's going to target people based on their past, who they voted for, or what they do on the internet and stuff. And it's like, people like who? He's like, people like blah blah blah. His name off people, and then he throws in Doctor
Strange,
who
hasn't been shown in any of the movies yet.
But I was like, that's a nice little hint there.
Yeah, they know him off a couple characters they haven't used yet, but Doctor Strange is he's based out of New York. He's the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
That, if they do it right,
well, they've been talking
could be a cool movie if they can pull it off.
They've been talking about making one.
Yeah. Now, I've seen a couple of animated movies, which being animation, they can do a lot more with less of a budget, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
But Doctor Strange would be kind of cool to pull off in live action if they can do it right. Mm-hmm. Got to find the right actor to fit the look. Got to have a good script, good director, and all that.
Well, these Marvel guys, they've been doing a good job so far.
Exactly, and that's why they're steamrolling the cash. They've got the formula down. They know what works. And, maybe not all the movies are as big hits as they want, but they still outperform anything else out there.
They make their money back and then some. I mean, they're doing better than DC.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not get started on that one.
Anyway, I'm considering this the beginning of the blockbuster season.
Yep, in April.
It started. This was a definite blockbuster. It's earned its right as a blockbuster. I liked it. My kids liked it. You liked it.
Everybody in the theater liked it.
Yeah.
Who hasn't liked this movie yet? I mean, look at the money it's making.
I've heard of one person that didn't like it.
He's a Nazi.
And I'm like, it's good. It's good entertainment. I mean, there's nothing not to really like. I mean, you can nitpick it.
Well, little things, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I like about it too, also, it still continues the original story arc from the original Captain America.
Yeah.
As odd as it sounds, that still fits in there.
It
because
does. They have little flashbacks.
Yeah.
Flashbacks. The villain is
his girlfriend. She's old and stuff. He's still.
Yeah.
To her it's like yesterday. To him,
she's
all
got
the time's
Alzheimer's
passed.
or something.
Yeah.
I mean, Bucky is. Like I said, spoilers. Bucky is the Winter Soldier.
Yep.
And
his best friend didn't die after all. But Hydra, what he ended up fighting at the end of Captain America, it started off as the Nazis, and that Red Skull kind of formed Hydra off of that. It's still, their motto, the motto of the organization was cut off one head, 2 more grow back to take its place.
Right.
That's why they've never been able to eradicate it. And that's why what happened in this movie happened, because Hydra, they just, okay, we got our butts kicked, okay, let's hide in the background, we'll just scheme and plan when the time's right. We strike and we come back out. And even having Robert Redford say the slogan "Hail Hydra" as he's dying. I mean, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I say go see it.
Now
you have lots of fun with it.
Next showing is in 20 minutes.
Right. The next one on the list for Marvel is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, that's next month, isn't it?
No, that's not till August.
August, yeah.
Yeah, next month is Spider-Man and X-Men.
Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2, X-Men Days of Future Past.
Which we'll be talking about those when they come out. Next one for Marvel Studios in this universe, Connected. is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And they've already announced Captain America 3 is going
Yep.
to be coming out same day as Superman versus Batman.
Guess who's going to back down from that one?
I
Ain't going to
want
be Captain America.
I want them to go head to head. I want to go. I want them to opening night. I want to get tickets to one and then the other the same night, and I want to go watch one after the other, and decide right there that night which one is better.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So, in 2 years.
2 years. It's really that long?
Yeah.
I thought it was 2015.
They changed it 2016.
16. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, I know why Captain America's got to be spaced out. They got to get They got to get Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers 2 in there.
Avengers 2 is next year.
Yeah.
So, next year we'll be doing Avengers. The year after that, we'll be doing that mash
Captain
up
America
there.
3. I'm sure they're going to slide another Thor in there. I'm not sure if they're going to get another Iron Man out though.
I don't know.
I'm still not happy the way Iron Man 3 ended. Stark would never do that.
Yeah. But we're talking about Captain America
We're talking about Captain America.
with Rhett Brown.
How's that go again?